And the last show we're going to be talking about is Youjo Senki.
This show, I mean, okay, like just looking, like I scroll through any chart just like on to see which shows might pique my interest and whatnot. And for the most part, like Big D over there, he'll look at like the movies or like the actual videos that they have for it. But I'll read the description. But like this one, just scrolling by the picture, I knew I immediately had to stop and read what the heck was going on, because that little girl on there looks so like evil in so many ways. And okay, so anyways, this was based upon a novel series, and the novel series centers on a young girl who fights in the front lines in war. She has blonde hair, blue eyes, and nearly transparent white skin, and flies through the air and mercilessly strikes down her opponents. Her name is Tanya, there's something I don't even know how to pronounce, and she speaks with a young girl's lisp and commands the army. I mean, right there, I'm like, okay, young girl, blonde hair, and she's got like springy blonde hair too. It's not just like the neat comb. No, she's got like strands just sprung out everywhere, and she speaks with a lisp. But she commands an army. I'm like, okay, you just like blew my mind with this now, because you're like, you just described like an adorable little girl, and yet she's scary looking at the same time, and she commands an army. This is weird. But anyways, yeah, apparently she can fly. I'm like, what? Are we talking about like in an airplane, or what's going on? But yeah, so Tanya used to be one of Japan's elite office workers. And see, this is where everything becomes interesting. But because of a wrathful god, was reborn as a little girl. Tanya prioritizes optimization and career advancement above all, and she will become the most dangerous entity among the Imperial Army's sorcerers. This is where it's like, okay, like the first part of that, you're like, okay, this is kind of weird. Maybe she's just a short girl for her age. She's young. She went through the ranks and is now one of the Army's elite or whatever. But no. She probably was an older woman. Still merciless in her own way, but apparently she pissed off a god somewhere along the way. And I'm curious to see, I'm like, are they going to explain that? Are they going to show exactly what she did to piss off a god that didn't like immediately smite her down, but instead decided, you know what, I want to put you in a little girl's body. So, and then the fact that you get to the very end of that description, and then they throw in the Imperial Army's sorcerers. And I'm like, oh, so now we have magic involved. I mean, we had a god, which don't get me wrong, we've seen animes before where it's like modern time frame, but then like a god does something to mess with somebody in some way, shape, or form. And then it's just them having to figure out how to live their life and whatever as far as that goes. But no, we don't just have gods, we have magic now as well. So I'm really curious. This is a lot of like different, I mean, we have so many different like storylines type side things going on here all at the same time. You know, it's like we just made like a combo plate of like tacos and burgers and spaghetti, and we just threw it all in the center and said, that's food. You know, it's like, is this all gonna work? How is this even like possible? So I'm really curious as far as that goes. And even in the trailer, like you see her, like you'll see her writing at her desk, and like you see just like this one strand of hair as she's writing, and kind of like I think either nodding to herself a little bit or whatever. You see the strand just kind of bouncing and bouncing. But then all of a sudden she turns around, and she's got this like the look that she has on that on her picture there, just like the evil maniacal look, and you're like, what the hell is that? You know. So I mean, yeah, again, it has a very unique and interesting storyline to it, and I'm curious to see where it's gonna go. And it's done by who? Oh wait, that's right. I didn't have anybody who's done by it. It's
yeah.
done by nobody. Nobody's done it, but it still looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure you'll comment on that, like the actual animation itself.
Yeah. The style reminds me of kind of Gonzo's style. Like everybody has like these crazy eyebrows and like sharp, defined faces and stuff like that. And it looks like it's gonna be pretty action packed. It looks like we're gonna focus a lot on what this girl is doing. So because she looks so creepy, I'm curious like how wrathful she is. Like is she only like that when she's like at work, and then when she's at home, she's all like, nah, walking around like a bunny suit and all that kind of stuff. So
I would so laugh if that was the case. Oh my god. That reminds me so much of, oh god, Index.
Yeah.
The little girl that was the teacher that was older than all of them, and she got very strict at school, but the minute she was home, I mean, she was drinking beers, but then also, I think, wasn't she in a bunny suit at one point?
I think so. It's been so long since I watched that. I gotta study. But yeah, that'd be really funny if there was like this drastic change, depending on where she is. And then so one thing about this show is like it's based in the military again. So like me, I'm on the fence. I'm like the main girl has me looking forward to the show, but if I don't get hooked in by her, then it's a matter of what's happening in the story. Like it says the Imperial Army, so it looks like there's a king and there's this huge army. They're talking about fighting gods, she had fought a god. I don't know if they're still current gods.
Either she fought a god, or she just happened to like piss off a god. Or, I mean, maybe her armies advanced on to like some. She ordered her armies to advance on some sort of like holy ground or whatever, and killed a whole bunch of their priests or whatever, and that's why the god became angry with her or something. I don't know.
Or like messed up a shrine or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we don't know if there's multiple armies, so I'm just curious, like what's gonna be happening in this show. So I'm definitely looking forward to those two things. So.
Oh, absolutely. Again, it's very intriguing, and there's so many elements involved in here. I'm curious if it's going to actually coalesce well, or like she basically says like, "Who are you? I don't know who you are," or something of that nature, and basically it stops him. And then like I guess maybe he might end up finding out more information in some way, like maybe just like a tidbit that gets him curious. And then he'll start actually going in deeper and trying to figure stuff out.
It depends on what part of the military that they're going to focus on. Like, are they fighting monsters? Are they fighting other military? Do these characters have superpowers? It's stuff like that I look forward to. So